Here at DDS, our mission is to ensure that people living with intellectual and developmental disabilities have the highest quality life possible. Our commitment to becoming a person-centered organization has been one of our greatest accomplishments. We need to be able truly to hear what people want, to act on what they want, and to make it happen. We've done this for some people, but we won't be satisfied until we've done it for everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. RCM is my family. RCM is my big family, for real. You know what, RCM taught me something real good. You know why? Out in this world, I can't make it out here. Now I'm making it now, and it's making it strong for me to learn things from different people. And I'm giving to say this from my heart, for real. It is, y'all got to love them. Well, you can't love them, you don't need to work here. You know what the main thing is? Y'all born here to work. And it's the honest truth. And I love y'all, and this is my closing. Have a good day. My name is Bernard. It's great for me when I'm doing for myself, for other people, for me to be something for myself. Now I'm out there to be my own role model for myself, to go out there and advocate for other people to get a job. They might be doing the same thing I did. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, go out there and speak up.
I always knew I can do it. It's like you got that gift to work a camera, and I had that gift. Well, the folks who I was with, they took me to that church, and I fell in love with that church. And the pastor needed somebody, who can work a camera, so I volunteered. My favorite is to follow the pastor and do God's work. Wherever the pastor goes, you there. Like if he's over here, you gotta be right there. If he's over here, you gotta be right there. Cause see, when you're not moving that camera, he's not in that shot, you just recording. I'm looking for, they feeling the Holy Ghost and you recording it. And they feeling it, being blessed. Yeah, you gotta get them when they feeling it, you know what I'm saying? If they not doing nothing, then you gotta move the camera. When I'm filming, if somebody's experiencing it, I feel it too. It feels magical. It feel like that is touching me too. Everybody needs that.
People become more interested in different ways of communicating. So if people feel like they're actually being heard, then they might not use a behavior to communicate. They might feel more comfortable sharing information in a different way.
My name is Allison. I'm the Rights and Advocacy Specialist in the Quality Management Division at DDS. I think our system is set up to dehumanize people in a lot of ways. And as service professionals, it's important for us to remember that we're all human beings and we're all inherently connected because we're human. And we owe it to the people that we're serving to treat them as a human being.
For the people that we support, we are talking about their life, their real life, not a dress rehearsal for a life, not their pretend like what they're going to do until they're ready to do something else. So we have to support people where they are, understand, listen to them, and really work to achieve those goals with them, not as an adversary or a roadblock. They have the same goals that we do, and we approach their goals just like we do our own goals in our life, figuring out how to do them rather than why they can't be done.
Person-centered planning, person-centered thinking has definitely been an asset for our organization. Historically, I believe we've been more of a paternalistic organization where we felt we knew what was good for people. Our job is to ensure that we actually listen to the people that we support, making sure that we actually hear what they have to say, not what we think they're saying.
It isn't just about being happy. I mean, that's wonderful. Everyone should be happy with their life, but it's more than that. It's about being fulfilled, satisfied, content, all the things that make your life wonderful and great. We do a really good job in parts of what's important for a person. Now we're at the point where we recognize that it's more than just healthy and safe. It's also about what is important to the person.
When people are going throughout their day, we all incorporate things that are important to us every day. And getting those things for people that we support is necessary if we're going to expect to help them get the lives that they want.
It could be about who's present in their life, things that they enjoy doing, where they want to work, but it's also about what needs to be absent, the things that really make for a bad day for someone. It's important to know what things to avoid.
The role of the service coordinator involves listening to the people that they serve. We help them live the lives that they want, learn the skills that they're interested in to help them move forward.
It really takes a village, if you will, for everybody to be successful. And I think what's been important is that the agency needs to understand person-centered values, what our mission is in terms of listening to the people.
And so moving to a direction where a person who never realized speech, for example, now has a voice, it just is phenomenal, considering that every part of their lives were planned. Someone decided when they got up. Someone decided what they wore, what they ate. If they were going to even walk outside that day, that was a decision made by someone else. Now, people can decide whatever they want. We want to fully support that. Taking in consideration the risks that they may face, and removing those where possible, but at some time, even allowing them to see risk, to be exposed to it. That's life. We go through that every day, you and I. So why shouldn't people with disabilities?
Person-centered thinking skills help us listen to the person, discover what's important to them, problem solve with the person, and determine what a good match looks like between the person and those who provide the services. The District of Columbia is working towards building a person-centered system, a system where people have lives of their own choosing in their communities.
I have seen our staff with the person-centered thinking skills really grow and start to exercise innovation and creativity and just good values, which I know they always had, but somehow they didn't feel we had a place for them.
And this man was a bit older, I think maybe in his 40s or 50s. He wasn't completely new to our system. And she thought, why don't we just get a speech evaluation? Everybody had just kind of thought, he doesn't speak, that's the end of it. So they got a speech evaluation and tried out a Dynavox. And as soon as he got it, he picked it up immediately. And everyone realized that he had been understanding everything going on around him and just had never been given this opportunity to communicate this. So, it just takes one person to ask another question and to say, why don't we try something different? We know that people communicate. Let's think about how we're maybe putting up a barrier to their communication.
So what's better about where you live now? What's better about it?
What's better about it is it's great for me to learn something, how to live on my own. It's helping me. It's helped me to learn how to pay my own rent, showing me how to bank my money, and learn how to get a job. better job. I want to go out there and be my own person.
What I like about Bernard is his personality. I think that his personality radiates in everything that he does. And he leaves his stamp everywhere that he goes, and he's very, very impressionable. You do not forget Bernard, any facet, anywhere he is, and I love that about him. I have seen major changes in Bernard. From the first time we met till now, he is more independent, and I mean that in every facet of life. He is more responsible. Things that you or I take for granted are some things that Bernard is able to do beyond what we thought was possible. And we continue to challenge ourselves with new tasks and new feats, and Bernard leaps, jumps, and hops and bounds over those things. So we are working really, really hard, and I'm very impressed with where he's come in just over a year. Everyone does not receive the same extension, and it's not a matter that they don't deserve it, because everyone is different within their own right. You couldn't punch a clock to want to see him do good things. You couldn't pay somebody to watch somebody's life light up. That's not something that you can be paid for. And unfortunately, it's not the same for everybody. You know, you only hope that someone finds their special person that they just have befriended and taken on as family. You'd love and you would only hope that they find those same things. But I think in many ways, just being a part of Bernard's life has improved we just had some gravitational click. Him being a part of my life is just as important as mine being a part of his. There are a lot of things that he could teach other people. Bernard is definitely an example and a testament. For anyone to see Bernard's life and the things that he's done would definitely be impressed with what he's accomplished by himself, and it's something to admire and aspire to in any capacity.
I've seen Bernard change over the last several years. He's actually grown, not only in his ability to make decisions and to guide his support team, but he's actually grown as an individual and as an adult. As he's gotten out into the community on his own, he's forged his own relationships. He's solving his own problems daily. He's understanding consequences and understanding his responsibilities, as well as working and understanding how to budget and what to do with money. So it's been a fun ride so far.
I'm the service coordinator for Bernard Crawford, and my job is to organize services for Bernard. I'm one of several members of a team. We come together and we assess Bernard once he comes into our system.
I received a referral on Bernard. Once we completed the initial intake, I determined him eligible for vocational rehabilitation services, and I then developed the IPE, which is the Individualized Plan for Employment. The application was referred over to St. John, where he was assigned a job placement specialist who worked with him one-on-one.
Once we received the referral from RSA, we began to get to know Bernard. We did a positive person profile, and once we completed our assessment, we found employment at the Bureau of Engraving. And he started there 6 or 7 months ago. He completed his 90 days successfully, and his case was closed from RSA, and then it was referred back to DDA for long-term follow-along support. What I like about Bernard is his personality, his zeal for life, and most importantly, the fact that he advocates for other folks in the District of Columbia.
Dora, can you tell me your name?
Dora.
And Tiffany, can you tell me your name?
Tiffany.
And you're both sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you like where you live now?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's new. It's new. House is new.
In the conditions which they lived, I felt horrible because I couldn't do anything. I wanted to, I was trying to help pay the rent, buy the food, do everything that I could possibly do. But I realized they needed a whole lot more than I was capable of doing or even knew how to do. So again, when I met Miss Ely, that just started the whole thing for me. And as an uncle, as a brother, I felt relieved and grateful.
Initially, Dora was someone that I worked with. I did not see an emergency to remove her, but I did see a need that the family had. So I was trying to put things in place, wraparound services to maintain the entire family together. But as time went on, things was not changing in a positive way. It was becoming a little bit more of an emergency. We felt at that time it would be in the best interest of Dora and Tiffany to go into respite so we can get them more stabilized and get the things that they needed in place.
I received a call from Provider Resources Unit of Department on Disability Services, and they informed me that there was a respite situation and they need urgent respite placement of 1 or 2 individuals. And it was kind of a scary sight because Tiffany was kind of looking really in bad shape.
Dora was not going to leave the home unless Tiffany came with her.
I informed my supervisor that we have to expedite Tiffany's application as soon as possible because there's a greater need. Normally I meet them on a face-to-face, but I went on and just did everything at once. Got her in for the face-to-face and scheduled her for the psychological, so she came in right away.
Tiffany presented to our agency for emergency services. She came in for her ISP and we noticed that she did not present as her full potential. So we assisted her with emergency support. We provided her with clothing, an opportunity to beautify her presence. And so we were able to provide those emergency supports for her. One of the services that she requested was residential supports. So we assisted her with obtaining a placement whereby she was able to reside with her sister, with a provider of her choice. And we were very, very happy to be a part of her life and to be able to help her achieve the goals that she herself set for her and her family.
She immediately took to me because I developed that rapport with her, and because she enjoyed Drake, that's how I was able to get her to trust me. She kind of dropped her guards and started talking.
Initially, when Tiffany and Dora came, they didn't know how to properly shower themselves. So the staff have to really bond with them, to teach them how to shower themselves, get them to be part of the family, gain their trust, so they can feel comfortable that this is their home.
I love my sister.
She had a glow. She just looked so happy and peaceful, She was giggling. And when I first met her, she wasn't doing all of that giggling and smiling. She smiled so much today. I was smiling with her because she was smiling so hard, because I just can tell that she's happy and content.
She's happy now. She is fulfilling the goals that she has set for herself, and we're very proud to have been a part of that transition.
Looking at this place where Dora and Tiffany live compared to where they were, this place is really great. The staff here is nice. Both are well-groomed, personality. They're full of laughter, jokes, cutting up, having fun. Tiffany enjoys going to school now, where she did not enjoy going last year. Dora seems to be excited about having her own bedroom and it looking nice and being able to have things where nobody's going to bother them or touch them. And they're quite pleased with the staff. If you look at Tiffany's teeth, she went to the dentist and had them cleaned. They're very pretty. Dora's full of smiles and dressed up. You look at them now and you say, wow.
Dora is very ambitious. She wants to be a nurse and she wants to work in the ER, with the ambulance unit. Tiffany is very jovial. She can crack you up into laughing in a split second.
With both of them together, you can actually see what a good sister bond looks like. You definitely see that with both of them. They really love each other a lot. As long as we're providing them with what they need now and teaching them different skills, I think that they will be able to live independently.
I wish there had been more I could have done, but in making the calls that I made and trying to do what I did, I think it's paid off, and I am eternally grateful for that. All I can say is, wow, they look great. Their personalities are fine, they're happy, they're full of jokes. They're living life like most young folks should do. So that makes me feel good.
It's your day, son. Congratulations, man. Adam got his own place. Adam doing good.
Adam was originally living with a foster family. His foster mom became ill, and he needed to choose another placement. DDS created the home and community-based waiver service called a host home program, and Adam was an excellent candidate for that program. Adam went to the host home with goals already set for himself. He always wanted his own place. It was one of the things that he told me in my first interview with him. Advocating personally was not part of my job description, but as a DDS employee, it is part of all of our responsibility to advocate for the people we serve.
Staff approached me to say that we have a person who would like to live in an apartment. He's been saving money for his furniture. He wants to contribute to his rent, but we don't do that. And I said, let's start from yes and figure out how we make this happen for Adam. And so we did. It was quite possible. And I was happy to be able to work with the staff to figure out how we could make that dream come true for Adam.
We're moving towards more of a person-centered planning philosophy here at DDS. Our focus used to primarily be on what people need, making sure they have what they need, and now we're focusing on making sure people also have what they want. In looking at what it was that Adam West wanted, I had to first take off one of my hats as a manager, and you look beyond the financial, you look beyond the red tape, and you start thinking, how can we make this happen? Our team worked well with him to ensure that he identified the area where he wanted to live, and he did that independently with another co-worker here at DDS. And we worked out the financial piece as well as the staffing support that he would need and how he would contribute towards his cost of care.
My part is very simple. As the contracting officer, I'm responsible for negotiating the budget and making sure that we're paying a fair, reasonable price and approving the service funding authorization. Often I'm not aware of the backstory. I don't usually get the full story. I'm just happy that in this case, DDS started doing the success stories and we heard a little more, and the service coordinator went the extra mile to meet with me and to explain Adam's situation so that, you know, I was aware of it. There are other cases, but I think this was a little bit special and something I think that we hope to do more of, especially since we're doing all this work around person-centered thinking.
All of us know Adam, right? Today, Adam is a success story.
We can always count on Adam to be prompt and aware. We all have our challenges, but he's able to continue to work through those challenges to make the ministry a success.
You know what? I thank you, son.
My first impression was that Adam has a lot going for him. I thought that he would not have to be in host home all his life, that he could be on his own with some nourishing and, you know, some just pushing him and empowering him to do something for himself, to be on his own. And I think he kind of grasped that idea and kind of took off with it.
You can do anything that you set your mind to do. And that's how I carried it all through the 3 years he was there. Adam did chores. He learned to make his bed. He learned to wash his clothes. He learned to do for himself. So finally it grew on him and he knew just what to do. So my husband pushed him to say, well, if you can do all these things, you can take care of yourself.
He started to be more confident, and he started to do things around the house that he was supposed to do. He became a whole better person. His whole persona changed from a shy young man to a man that is very confident. And he's got more goals. To him, this is just the start. And it's amazing, you know, what a person can do when they have faith. Nobody thought that Adam would ever be in the position he's in now. There were so many naysayers, and I told him, you know, you don't pay attention to that. Just do what you know, do what you're taught, and have faith in yourself. And look at him now. It's unbelievable. And there's more to come. There's more to come. I feel like I'm on a very solid path, very solid. And then my next goal, I want to drive. Driving is a big step for me to get around in a vehicle on my own, just like the apartment on my own. I want to take that next step in my life to learn how to drive. I like to explore and see what's out there.
We really felt it was important to make sure that everybody understood person-centered thinking, understood the kind of outcomes we were trying to accomplish, and then they'd really feel more invested about what they did and how they contributed, and then supported the real key people in our agency, which obviously real focus has to be in service coordination. But everybody plays a role, and I think when people really understand what their role is and how it contributes to the outcome, that it can only benefit the agency and then benefit the people we serve.
I feel that every employee here has the same passion that I have, assist people in reaching their goals.
Bernard's employment has made a great difference in his life. I have seen the changes in him just maintaining a schedule and a routine, and also the quality of life that he is able to afford himself.
A person can reach goals and reach full participation in their community through employment. And I think that the idea is we can really start working with families when children are very young and facilitate this through their educational process and through transition services, so that when people are coming out of high school and are starting their adulthood, it is a reasonable expectation.
When Dora said that she wanted to find a job, I said, wow, anything that you set your mind to do at any mental state, I think you can do it. I still believe in what Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said, the power of positive thinking. You can if you think you can.
If you're going to be a valued member of your neighborhood and your community, you need to be out in your community getting to know people and the things that adults do, and that includes going to work. You know, pay taxes, vote, all those things that adults do. That is your right to do. DC is an employment first state. And so we're moving towards that and being able to educate people that people who have disabilities are no different than anyone else, and they want to work and they should work. So we need to support them in that and figure out how we are going to make that happen.
The only way out of poverty and to have a good life is really employment. We will see more and more people gaining employment. We're really only as good as our weakest link, and if the people that we support are not having the lives that they want, if they're failing, if they're not happy, then we're not succeeding. We've got to work together to succeed together.
We know the reason why we're here. Everybody has a passion to make sure that people are receiving the services and supports.
It's not just about DDS. We're also working on making sure that our children and family services agencies understand it, that our Medicaid agency understands it, that our mental health agency embraces it, so that all the agencies in government that might touch the person that we support embrace the person-centered thinking, embrace the values, so that we really become a standard in person-centered thinking and valuing people with disabilities, so that they get the kind of life that every district resident deserves and wants.
We are working towards having a person-centered system, and we are seeing success. You only heard a couple of stories today. There are many more. Ask your coworkers and develop your own stories. Look at how we can make what is extraordinary ordinary.